Europe is under attack. A group of hackers, self-declared as the Funk Mercenaries, has targeted internet interconnection sites and defaced the homepages of several European critical infrastructure and cyber defence agencies. This same message has been displayed on the different home pages. While internet has been developed to enhance sharing and cooperation at all levels, it has actually led to exaggerate the differences, widen the gap, and finally force separation between European peoples. This social clustering is reflected on the European internet's infrastructure. No resilience at all. We, the Funk Mercenaries, will take you to a journey to prove it. Today you will travel back in time to the 1960s. Consequences of the attack are that neither web services nor email works properly. If communications at all seem to be alive, it takes several minutes to get answers. Many social critical functions are threatened. Computer Emergency Readiness Team and cyber defence agencies in Europe, as well as the European Network and Information Security Agency, ENISA, are working around the clock to try to track down the hackers. We will follow the situation closely, but we must warn our viewers that our transmission may be sporadic due to the technical difficulties that the situation has created. This newsflash was the scenario that was tested during Cyber Europe 2010. The first ever pan-European critical information infrastructure protection exercise.
Realistic tabletop exercise where we bring together the member states and the responsible people in this IT security sector and to build up trust and test the communication among them. The digital agenda of Europe was published by Commissioner Kroes and the Commission in April of this year. So by this, the basic intention is to improve the European Information Society, and it's also starting the discussion about the renewal of ENISA's mandate. Well, we have the Lisbon Treaty in force since December last year, so this gives us the opportunity to work together with the other pillars of the European Union. So if we are talking today about cybercrime, it gives us the possibility to support other European institutions like, for example, Europol. And by this, in the end, we want to improve IT security in Europe.
Back in January, ENISA started bringing member states together in a series of workshops to start planning, deciding on the objectives of the exercise. In addition, ENISA facilitated the overall process, brought up the member states into a dialogue, and also managed to achieve consensus in terms of the exercise objectives. ENISA is responsible for drafting the evaluation report and making sure that all member states are comfortable with the results of the exercise. We believe that this was one of the most important projects that we had up to now.
The objectives of the exercise were to enhance cooperation between member states and to suggest to them that they should communicate or cooperate more in times of crisis. So the scenario tried to reflect that. Without revealing too much of the scenario, infrastructure that is shared between member states was impacted during the crisis, and member states had to share information through emails, through phone communications, to resolve the crisis. Some of them had a peak at a certain time during the day, others at another moment, and the peaks were different, so that the different communities involved would not be all busy at the same time.
ENISA asked different countries if they would point out some people that would go into a planners team. It was very important that the countries would get involved as a part of the whole exercise planning. We were very much up to high speed very early in the phase, and we were integrated very much in the planning process. No one really didn't know where we were going. This was the first pan-European exercise of its kind. No one had experience of handling such exercises. And ENISA did very well. We established a lot of tools together with the JRC. We had a lot of help.
The simpler we could keep it, the more likely it was to be a success. We basically had member states putting forward moderators who actually sat in these premises here in ENISA. When we'd completed the planning workshops, there was also a dry run. We moved from the initial phase of the exercise to the detailed planning. And at that stage, Panos actually sort of took over and imposed more structure.
The dry run was actually a simulation of the day of the exercise. So you had all the moderators, and some of them would play the part of a player, and you actually try to simulate what will happen in the day of the exercise.
I had a lot of new experience. I am also very surprised and satisfied by our players, and I think also that the exercise was working great. We had the chance to communicate with all Europe. We were building trust.
The Joint Research Center is a DG of the European Commission and is offering scientific and technical support to the European policies in the preparation towards the exercise in all phases, coming from the planning phase, designing phase, to the very last of execution and analysis of the results of the exercise. The development of the communication and coordination tools allowed exchange of more than 300 of simulated events.
The organization of the exercise was very good, and it made it very easy for me as a moderator to play my role. The only thing I had to do is to sometimes to help the players in the right direction and to make sure that they are not starting their own play. But that went very well. So I had a really relaxed day, actually.
Pan-European exercise is one of the activities of the CIP Resilience and CIP program of ENISA. The program started 3 years ago by doing a number of stock takings at the policy, strategy and technical level. We have identified exercises at national and pan-European level as one of the very promising activities, and we collaborated with Member States and the European Commission. And the recent CIP action plan of the European Commission highlighted the importance of exercises, and in cooperation with the Member States today we managed to deliver the first pan-European exercise ever. And ENISA will collaborate with all Member States, of course, and the European Commission to make sure that whatever we have learned today with the first pan-European exercise will be properly understood and somehow implemented in a way.
The immediate road ahead with is basically preparing the exercise report and most importantly use the results from the exercise and the observations during the exercise to make a number of sensible recommendations towards the relevant policy makers, towards the member states. ENISA will do another exercise, and I think with all the knowledge and experience, this time I think it will be again a big success.